Welcome, everyone, to the Pizza Roundtable, part of the Pizza Club Network, where we here host some of your favorite pizza personalities from all around the world. Like I said, you're here today for Pizza Roundtable, where we'll talk about some of the biggest pizza news of the week, and we'll give you a chance to weigh in on it. I'm your host, Will Dumas, and I'm joined here by my guest host, Jim Mumford. Jim, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Hey, good, Will. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great, man. And guys, just to reference everyone, Jim is both a cookbook author and a writing contributor for the media publication Inside Hook. Don't want to leave you hanging without that, man.
No, you got to give the full bio, or people just think I'm a curly-haired weirdo who likes to talk pizza.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. All right, cool, man. Well, listen, I think we got a lot of pizza news to get into this week. I figured we might as well start, actually, to be honest with you, with a fun one that came up. This one is going to be out. This was actually in the New York Post. Was the first ones to cover it, and so let me share this article. It's an unfortunate faux pas, I would call it, for Pizza Hut.
Good word. Good
I don't often use that. I don't often use that one, right? And so this one, like I said, from the Post here. Pizza Hut location goes viral after closing for an unforeseen circumcision. It's a tough one on the pizza scale, Jim. What do you think?
One. You know, that's I've had a lot of things happen in a pizzeria, but that one, that's hard. That's a hard typo, and I don't know that I'm gonna, be running out to this Canadian Pizza Hut. Certainly not eating the ham.
So to that point, guys, this one was in Canada. I'll quote here from the Post: "No tips required at this Pizza Hut." Boom, ching! Right, I love it. Yeah. So the on the door of this Pizza Hut, it was posted: due to unforeseen circumcisions, the dining room will be closed tonight. The sign on the restaurant said in Timmins, Northern Ontario, that read last week. So this has gone viral, as you could imagine. Like, I mean, literally everyone was talking about this. You can find countless amounts of social media posts highlighting and making puns off of this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's low-hanging fruit, but, it had to be done. And, the internet's undefeated when it comes to things like this, and good on them for not missing the opportunity, seizing the day. I would have thought it would have been, somewhere south of the border, but apparently it was in Canada. So
there
you go.
Very good, Jim.
I that one holstered.
I love it. All right, let's keep it going here. So we'll talk pizza now for real on this one. So this one that we'll shift to is going to be out of Forbes, and this is actually Forbes covering Pizza Today's 2024 pizza industry trends. I thought they just did a good summary of it, so I thought it was a good one to share from Forbes here. Let's load this guy up. And so, like I said, this one is: here are the hottest pizza trends for 2024. They say, I'll start the article here. Welcome to the delectable world of pizza, where tradition meets innovation and flavor knows no bounds. So I'll highlight a couple of these trends first, Jim, that I thought were interesting. First one kind of up here, and obviously need your insight into them. Out of the box toppings in general, restaurants venturing into the realm of unconventional toppings are spearheading a novel and delectable culinary experience, elevating customers' interest to unprecedented highs.
Yeah, I guess I don't think this is new, right? I mean, if you look, we debated before the California style. That's what this is, right? It's not a style of dough. It's the unconventional toppings. I think maybe we were calling them flatbreads and calling them appetizers 5 years ago. But I don't think this is new. What I think is being more embraced is, artisan crafted, pies, right? Where you're doing more farm to table, you're using more locally sourced, you're caring about the ingredients a little bit more. I think that's becoming more prevalent. But weird toppings, I think we've always had that. Maybe just not everywhere.
I'm with you on that one. So I'll highlight, funny you say farm to table as well, highlight some of the offerings that they described here from, and like I said, this was quoted out of the Pizza Today's 2024 Trend Report: vegan meat, cheese alternatives, sweet and hot pepper varietals, including jalapenos, cherry peppers, pasilla peppers, pepperoni styles such as char or Old World, Mexican-inspired meats like birria, chorizo, carne asada, BBQ pork, chicken, and brisket. Sweet toppings like honey, fig, and jam, maple syrup, caramelized and pickled vegetables, BBQ pork, chicken, and brisket are some of the hottest trends. I mean, I feel like these are not to be. They sound unique when you put them all together, but we're seeing a lot of these pies with it. I don't know if I'm. Maybe this is just there.
Yeah, I grew up with old world cup pepperoni and putting honey on pizza, right? I mean that's what you did with the good Sicilian. So I don't think it's new. I think it's just maybe a little more mainstream, right? People aren't want to look past the pepperoni and mushroom, but. I don't know, I didn't think that. I do agree, the farm to table and really like using pizza as a platform. And listen, we're artichokes are in season. We're going hard artichokes. I think that's become really cool. And, we've talked about this, right? Where okay, we're going to start embracing the land and not just be subject to into a style. And I think this is cool and fun. Though, let's face it, California was doing this 20 years ago.
That's fair. But I'm with you on the farm to table. I think people are looking locally and looking for organic foods. I mean, not that they go hand in hand, but I'm necessarily just saying we're already seeing this farm to table approach. And I think we talked about last week or the week before, actually an article that Sirhan from the Pizza Club had been putting out there. And he was talking about a lot of farm to table kind of offerings, or how to kind of peruse your local farmers market, try to draw pizza inspiration, which is a cool one. So, all right, Pizza Today. You're on point for this one. We'll give it to you there.
We'll give you that 1 for 2.
All right, let's see what else we got. So another item, this one was kind of unique and very specific. So they highlight balsamic glazes as adds a unique and unexpected flavor twist to pizza. And the world seems to agree. And then they'll quote here just for a reference. According to TasteWise, pizza is one of the fastest rising applications for balsamic vinegar, having grown by more than 14% in online searches in the past year. Now, I'm a fan of balsamic glazes. Like, I love it. A quick drizzle. I don't know if it was a trend item, but hey, I'm gonna look out for it. We'll see what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Balsamic and bread, balsamic and tomatoes. Like, the flavors are there, right? The sweet finish is there. So I buy this one. Okay. It's not something I've done a lot, but I see it. It makes culinary sense, and I think it's that dark on the light. I think could be a cool contrast too. So there's a visual element. So I'm buying this one a little bit. Like I say, I don't think it's going to be at your local Casey's necessarily, but I can see it. And I can see it being part of the farm to table mix.
I'm with you there. I can appreciate it. I mean, I love the kind of idea of balancing any sweet with heat, right? So this is, if it's honey or balsamic glaze, right? There's something to it, and balsamic, particularly a little bit of bite and acid to it. So it's good pizza ingredient. I'm totally down for it. All right, the next one, I'm gonna get your take on this one because I'm not sure I'm fully appreciating the description here. And this one is Italian region specific pizzas. And when I read the headline, I thought I knew the direction it was going, but from the copy here was regional pizza styles and distinctive flavors have evolved over time due to various factors, including historical, cultural, and geographical influences. Climate and geography have also played a role as I continue, blah, 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 blah. But the note here I thought was going to be like distinctive to we were going to see styles, right? We were going to see a number of different like Roman styles that we're going to talk about, but that's not what I'm picking up from this. So I don't know if I'm fully appreciating when we're talking about Italian regional styles here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that regional styles are bigger than they ever have. As someone who specializes in that, right?
Absolutely.
I think those are bigger than ever. I think the regionality is kind of going back to Italy, as we talked to some of our friends and how the Roman styles evolving and these styles are evolving. So this one took me on a journey because I expected to hear how in Naples the scene was changing and how Roman pizza, and it wasn't. So I do think, like I said, the styles are a thing and people are more willing to try them. But I don't know that's what the article was going for. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So okay, we'll look out for it. But I mean, I'm unsure what I'm looking for. But if I see it, maybe I'll just know it. Kind of one of those things. So continuing in this vein, global fusion. This one I get down with. I think this has been a trend for quite some time in general. Like the idea, kind of they're noting here, right? Some examples that include tandoori style pizza, curry pizza, Greek style pizza, Tex-Mex, caviar pizza, so on and so forth. Transforming some sort of regional or fusion dish to a pizza, right? Essentially, which is cool. I dig the concept.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And this is, going off the flatbread, and every region has a pizza variant, right? It might not call it a little different. Now we're starting to mesh them up, and I think that's cool, and I'm here for it, and I think you are too.
Oh, I'm absolutely down for it. The more unique something we can get, I'm in. I'll finish out the final ones here. They kind of denoted as well sweet and spicy flavors as ones together. And then to your point, Jim, artisan crusts. So they quote here, artisan crusts, renowned for their handcrafted excellence and distinctive flavor profiles, are experiencing a surge in popularity. The crusts are often crafted using a combination of various flours infused with herbs, imbued with flavors such as garlic or cheese, representing a variety of textures.
Yeah, I see this big, right? There's a kind of a chain to Michigan and Midwest, Hungry Howie's, and their pizza is mediocre. Sorry, Hungry Howie's, but their flavored crusts are incredible. And you go for the flavored crust, and
they're here. They're here too.
Oh, are they? So it's like, it's like, oh, Hungry Howie's, but you get the crust. Like, oh, this is pretty cool. So it's a cool way to integrate that, but it's also very difficult, right? Adding in herbs and garlic, as it proves, and it's difficult to do, at the burn. So it's a fine line, but I'm here for it because it makes the whole thing a little more interesting.
I'm with you there, and yeah, we do have Hungry Howie's. I tell you the truth, I haven't been in very often with some of the other pizza choices that we have here, but they do have a food truck around here that comes to a number of kids sponsored events. So certainly engaged with the team actually there before. Not my first stop, but I'm with you for the flavored crust.
Yeah, totally with the flavor. It's cool, right? It's a cool niche the way they carved out, and I think that's going to grow again with the artisan. I was researching a pizza that used purple potato in the crust, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just doing things with colors and textures, and I think if I'm looking at 2020, what the thing is, I think that's going to be one of them. I'm thinking.
Cool. All right.
2030. Whatever year.
I know what you were going with. Just in case someone was watching this at a different time, I wanted to leave that open so they could be like, "Oh my god, Jim was right." You know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of and the last one to close it out that they referenced here, and I think this is fairly obvious from what we've seen. Pizza for health-conscious consumers, and in general, we're kind of highlighting the ideas around gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan options in both meat and cheese toppings as well. I mean, I know sometimes we debate what makes pizza, but we're talking cauliflower crust here, low carb, gluten-free offerings, all the things to bring people into the pizza universe that can't have it as is or choose not to have it as is.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're in the pizza, you eat what you can eat, you eat what you like. I'm also seeing like high protein, right, where you're spiking with Greek yogurts and you're spiking with pea powders and other things in meat. So I think that's cool, right? We're expanding what pizza is and can be. And again, I'm here for it. Pizza's a mindset. It's not a recipe.
I like that. That's a t-shirt, man. That's
right there.
T-shirt. Okay, you better. I'm going to edit that out so no one else hears it. So you can copyright that first before you say it afterwards. All right, cool. That was a good report. Good coverage forms of the Pizza Today report. Good summary. Appreciate that one. All right, let's keep going. This one we're thinking about Super Bowl. Is it too early to think about Super Bowl? I'm not gonna lie. I noticed a number of articles around Valentine's Day. We've been talking about the heart-shaped pizzas. We're not covering them today. I feel like we have more time. We have more time.
I thought.
But I figured this one, I can't wait to listen. Please, Jim, I didn't tell you about this one. Hold on to your seat. Okay. This one is, this is big, man. Okay. Totino's delivers pizza rolls hot and ready to your doorstep for the big game.
Is Pete Davidson going to do it personally? We'll read the article. Maybe he'll tell me.
So football fans not in the delivery era can still take advantage of the national grocery delivery offers for Totino's to make featured at home. But if you want, in general, they are going to be delivering via DoorDash and Uber Eats. So in the select areas, which are Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and New York City. So if you're not there, it's going to be tough. But if you are...
Listen, I hope they get the essence of lava and still cold right? I hope they give you a dichotomy there. You really don't have the full experience. No, it's cool, right? I mean, good for Totino's knowing who they are and trying to get in the game and try to take their piece of the pie, right? They're not competing against ours and pizzas, but they know what they are and they're going for it. And listen, pizza rolls have a place in all of our hearts. And if you say they don't, you're lying.
I couldn't agree more. And listen to the flavors that are going to be on delivery are the garlic parmesan, a buffalo ranch, the nacho pizza roll, sweet sesame, and a Kansas City BBQ pizza roll. Interesting.
I'm down for all of them. I wish I lived in one of those cities for delivery.
Now, let me ask you something, Jim, here, because I'm kind of looking at this article. Let me pull back up the image here. If you had to pair a beverage with Totino's, now I'm being optimistic here that I think maybe that is just a misplaced Negroni in terms of the cup that it's going to be in, but I don't really know if that's the case. What would you eat with a pizza roll for Super Bowl? Is there a distinctive beverage besides beer that you would go with?
Beer and ranch?
Or if it's beer, that's fine. You know what I mean?
I mean, it is beer, right? I mean, beer and pizza rolls. I can see like a fruit punch or a spritzer or something, light, refreshing, right? A little thick, counteract the salt fat. Yeah, there you go. Put some culinary spin. Yeah, a nice fruit spritzer.
What if I do like a Mountain Dew?
I mean, listen, you're not the first to come up with that, so please don't take credit. I hate to, burst your bubble there, but Mountain Dew, again, a place in your heart, right? And if you say it doesn't, you're lying.
Oh man, yes, agreed there. It just happens to be I don't drink a lot of Mountain Dews, but I mean, when I was a kid, man, that was my favorite soda. That's for sure.
I think it was all of our favorite sodas.
All right, listen, we gotta check out this next pie, and this one was covered by PMQ. This one is called, I think it's called Pagash is the way to pronounce it. I wasn't familiar with this one, Jim. I don't think this is a regional style that you've ever, quote unquote, seen before. But this thing, this looks delicious to me. I'm so down to try this. I don't know if it feels to me like a traditional pizza in any sort of way. This could be like the global fusion pie for sure. But I'll quote from it here: how to make Pagash pizza with a dash of panache. And this is the concept seems pretty simple: pizza crust, potatoes, and cheese. But there's incredible Pagash diversity in Northeast Pennsylvania. So I'm not familiar with this at all. Do you have any familiarity with it?
Not called this. I know some of the styles in the area have like a mashed potato pie. Like I've seen Cleveland and one other that escapes me. So I've seen the flavors together. I've never seen it like this, called out for Lent specifically. So that was new to me, but I think it's cool. It's carb on fat, which can't be wrong. So yeah, this was new to me, which it's rare to get a new regional style past me. Maybe it's a like say a seasonal Lent thing.
Dude, I think it's so cool. And this one by Jim Mirabelli, he does a lot of NEPA or NEPA. I forget how you say it. It's Northeastern PA pizza reviews. He's got a great page for anyone out there in general. If you're a pizza fan, to follow. He does fun stuff. So I'll quote here from him, kind of writing this one. So what's in a Pagash pizza? The concept seems pretty simple: pizza crust, potatoes, and cheese. But the types of Pagash made in NEPA are quite diverse. Some are round, some are square. Some have a single crust, some have a double crust, some are topped with onions, some have onions chopped up and mixed in. So it seems pretty cool. One can be like a giant stromboli. I think you can, I guess the uniqueness of this seems like you can kind of play around and tweak it as long as you've got the core ingredients to use, which I always have trouble with from a style perspective, right? When you can go kind of be so wishy-washy to the side. But hey, man, I'm definitely down to try one of these.
Listen, I'm here for it. One of my favorite pizza places in Chicago is a Polish Italian pizzeria, right? And pierogies and pizzas, what they do, and that's what this reminds me of, right? Is if you tried to take a pierogi and a pizza and mash it up. I think thinking of the region and kind of the history of it, I think this all makes sense. So to me, I think it's the mashup and the fusion, and I think that could be cool because I can already tell what the crust is going to be like, the potatoes are going to be like, the cheese is going to be like. So it works, and I'm here for it. I'm going to do some research. because I want to be talking about this because, listen, pierogies are some of the finest foods on the planet. You find a way to fuse that with pizza. I think that could be something pretty cool.
I'm with you, man.
This is a good article. This was a new one.
Yeah, definitely. That's so cool, right? Finding a new kind of different style or something, dude. It just doesn't happen that often. I love it. And one that I can kind of get behind. Like, there's definitely uniqueness to this, right? Like, this seems distinctly regional to an area. Like, really cool. I love that. I really do love that.
And it's got a history. It's got a cultural aspect. Like, there's more to it than, a guy opened up a pizzeria and 3 people copied him, right? There's something to it. And I'm shocked I've never heard of it. And I'm sure Arthur will come on and tell us all about it, and I can't wait an after party to ask him about it. No, this was cool, and this was fun.
I dig it. All right, listen, let's leave pizza for 1 second, but not too far. All right. So this one is an ice cream. Now, I know what we're thinking. We may have seen this before even, because I'll say last year, maybe a year and a half ago, we were talking about an ice cream offering from Van Leeuwen that was a pizza flavor. This one's a little different. So this is Lincoln Ice Cream Shop to sell Valentino's pizza flavor. I kind of dig the container. I'm down for it there. This one's out of Lincoln, Nebraska. A local ice cream shop is unveiling a new flavor that will cause a stir with Nebraskans. 402 Creamery announced it will be selling a Valentino's pizza flavor of ice cream in February. The ice cream is a perfect mix of sweet and savory, the new with the classic. So, Jim, what do you think about these like unique ice cream flavors in general? And then can you translate pizza to one of them?
Yeah, I'm all for ice cream flavor. Ice cream's meant to be a blank canvas. I'm here for unique flavors. People in Nebraska like doing weird things with pizza. Sorry if that offends but like I look at all the Omaha style and this is. I'll try anything twice. And I can see that there are cheese flavors and savory flavors, and you can get a balsamic drizzle. And I think you could get close. The tomatoes are going to be hard for me because I just can't see how that flavor works. But say I'll try it. If you're going to mass produce something, it can't be that bad. You'd think. Just please keep the pepperoni out. That's my only wish. And kind of doing some Googling before this, I'm not sure I'm going to get my wish. It looked like that was maybe. And again, I'll try anything twice, but that I think is where I draw the line. How about you? You got pepperoni in your ice cream?
I will say definitely tried the Van Leeuwen ice cream offering. I don't know if I would order it again, but I didn't think it was that bad. The tomato was definitely the variable in that one that I was thinking about, but it was more of like almost like a candied sauce for the most part. It's kind of what they turned it into. So a little bit of sweet. It was a tomato base. You wouldn't necessarily pick it up as like a savory tomato flavor, at least in the one that they did. And I think that's how it could work. But I'm always down with something maybe like a little fatty meat with my ice cream. I don't know if I've ever had that combination before, but I would try it.
I guess I've had bacon with ice cream, and I understand that. There's something about the pepperoni. I could say if you use like a sun-dried tomato or something that's naturally sweet with some texture,
sure,
I could buy it. Unless if someone sends me a pint, I'll probably house the whole thing happily. So don't think I'm a snob here, but I'm a little hesitant on this one.
That's acceptable. I'm with you. I get it. I will note also Van Leeuwen had a mac and cheese ice cream flavor, which was also quite unique. They're very well known for flavors. Again, not another one that I'm going in for, but it was a fun thing to try with my kids and have,
Yeah, and I can say it, right. It's fun to try, fun to kids, right? Fun to say you did. So for that, hats off. They're trying.
Agreed. I'm with you there. All right. Let's head to New York for a second. I'm always interested in like who opens items up, in New York. And this one was pretty unique. This one's covered by Eater out of New York. I'll copy here quickly first with a nice photo that looks for it. And this is a good looking shot here of a maybe it's like a focaccia that's topped. Yeah, absolutely right. And so this one is this new Italian market cafe doesn't need the meat. Travelers, poets, and friends has done away with salami and other cured meats. That does not mean that it's not good. So think of this one as a mini Italy. Essentially, it is a pescatarian Italian market opening in New York. thought it looked pretty cool. An interesting idea. No meats in an Italian market. That's unique. I could totally be down for any kind of fish items on my pizza. Although I feel like we're definitely, if we had to say, if you had to judge them, pizza toppings that are meat versus fish, I would say 90% meat, if not higher. What do you think?
Yeah, higher. I especially domestically, maybe in Italy, but I think higher. But not to say that you can't make things delicious, and as we see more farm to table, right? There's not as much farm to table pepperoni as there are as there's produce. So I see this thing with the trends we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I just thought this one was pretty cool. See how it does in New York. The idea of just being completely pescatarian was great. Cool. Good for them. Dude, if I'm in the area, I will happily try it. There's some pretty good also offbeat items that were like, there's a cacio e pepe and salt cod, like a fritter. There's a was it a fluke Milanese sandwich? Like, I'm totally down to try all these variations of it this way. Like, I'm in, man. I'm gonna seek this out next time I'm in New York, actually.
Yeah, I agreed. And it feels like it wasn't just haphazardly put together, like it was inspired for Italian flavors and kind of Lenten classics. So a lot of work went into this, and like I say, I'm here for it. It's going to be a destination.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm happy to try it and try to get there. That's for sure. All right. So let's go regional, man. So Pizza Today is covering a recipe. Now, this seems a little generic, but sometimes they are, in terms of just like broad strokes. Maybe I should say it feels a little broad. Midwest pizza dough. Now, this is not a specific area of the Midwest, just a Midwest pizza dough. The pie looks good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm totally down for it. And this is John Goody Kansti. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Wrote an article for the Traditional American Pizza, which outlines some variations of America's pizza that you may or may not be familiar with, and the Midwestern pizza style was included. So here is the recipe down here. Now, this is stretched out, obviously, right, for a pizzeria, but in general, it's 66% hydration, strong enough to hold sauce, cheese, and toppings, flavorful enough after proofing to enable a digestible crust. Mixing it with cold water and using less yeast, followed by cold fermentation, slows the yeast activity down, giving the starches in the flour time to convert to simple sugars, releasing fantastic flavors. The recipe is designed to be used within 6 hours if using warmer water, and up to 3 days using the cold holding method. So, not that complicated in terms of ingredient wise or what's there, but I mean, just give me your thoughts, man. Midwestern style pizza. Do you feel this needed to be more specific in any sort of way, or what do you think, man?
I guess
not to critique, but it's in general.
Yeah, in general, if I were to say what's a Midwestern pizza style, it's gonna be a tavern, right? It's going from Milwaukee down to St. Louis. You kind of hit that tavern. That's kind of what that pie looked like, and with lower yeast, I think that's maybe what they were trying to go for. But the hydration isn't what I expect it to be. A little bit higher, maybe for a tavern. So I think it is. You're trying to take an average of a lot. And listen, that looks like a tavern style pie. That's what they were certainly going
I agree
for.
with those edges. With those edges that I'm seeing around that's what it looks like from this view.
Yep. But most tavern style pies have some combination of oil or sugar and more to it. So again, I think it's an average of everything, and I'm not going to knock it, but like I say, when I write tavern style pies, it's not. It's a lot different with a lot different technique than this, because the ingredient list is honestly like a Neapolitan would be, which doesn't necessarily make awesome thin crust, but again, right, it's an average. I don't know that I would call this the average for Midwest. I think it's a fine recipe, but kind of seeing all across the Midwest either go for the tavern style, go for more of the Sicilian style. Because those are more indicative of the Eastern or Western Midwest to me.
I'm with you there. Absolutely, and that's the way I think I was describing it too blandly as broad facing. I love the deep dive into what the difference is, but we're on the same page of where we're coming from with our thoughts on it.
Yeah,
I will say one thing to this, Jim, and only because we took a lesson last week in pizza photography. I love the contrast of having a different background behind this pizza, right? The kind of like little tile style gives this whole picture some pop, guys. If you weren't listening last week, go check out the episode. We covered a good article about photographing pizza, the challenges of it. I forget who had written it. To be honest, where it was featured, but just making me think about it when I'm seeing these pictures now. I'm constantly thinking, what's a better way to photograph these flat items? And this one, I get a little contrast with it, so I'm down.
Listen, I'm in the midst of pizza photography hell right now for a project. Maybe I can mention at some point. But I appreciate these little things. But I also pick up the shadow, right? The ring light was in the lower right. You didn't have a shilling. So like I've broken the glass behind all of it now. I hate it. I absolutely hate it because I see it. But it's a great picture. I love the backdrop. You knew exactly the style. You had the colors pop. So 9.5 out of 10. Just watch your shadows as I sit here with the shadows from my ring light. So who am I to talk, right?
I love it, dude. It's all good. All right, this one. Let's talk Pizza Expo for a minute, but not the Pizza Expo that we're thinking about. Let's talk about the new iteration, and this one is PizzaCon. So just happened to pop up that was coming up. So this one's going to be in Philadelphia at the Fillmore, November 7th, 2024. What's it all about? Introducing PizzaCon, an exclusive and experiential event designed for pizzeria owners and operators who are serious about growing their business. Come experience a full day of curated programming, including activations developed to inspire and educate. This isn't your typical trade show and must be on your calendar for 2024. Sign up, check it out. So what do you think, man? A new pizza event? Interested in seeing what it's all about?
Yeah, I like it, right? Obviously the Vegas one is classic, but getting a little bit East Coast might be a little more accessible to where some of the artisans are that might not be able to fly out. So I love it, and look, you look at how every city is a Comic Con now. Every city, I think, is probably gonna have a Pizza Con. We're heading that way, so I'm here for it. I'm offering my services as a judge for any competitions. Will and I would be happy to do so. If anyone likes.
I'm always
gonna be there. You gonna drive up.
I think this one I'm interested in checking this one out. Yeah. I've been trying to get to kind of the AC event that they were doing before, which has just been a tough time of year for me to get to it. Unfortunately, the fall's busy, but let's see, man. I'm down to check this out, especially if it's only a day too.
Exactly.
Right? It's not a whole slew of days put together. It's one day. I'm happy to kind of get there, hit it, and get out. Like, sounds cool. That's something I could kind of get down for.
Agreed.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Neapolitan. I feel like we haven't talked a lot about Neapolitan pies as of lately. I don't know, maybe it was like 2022, 2020, early 2023, where all the or 2020, 2021, 22, 23, all the rage, all we were talking about.
Everything.
Right? I felt like, and it haven't come up that much as of lately. I mean, listen, maybe some other styles are getting some shine they deserve. I don't know, but this one from Tasting Table. For the lightest Neapolitan pizza dough, don't toss it around. Mm-hmm. So kind of just a quick walkthrough of some of your traditional, maybe like what I would describe as like techniques, right? For dough kneading and creating some of Neapolitan pizzas. And so they kind of highlight the idea, like I said, this one from Tasting Table, having a light touch to the dough in general, very important. A gentle arm stretch, right? We're not throwing these doughs around. We're leaving it on the counter for the most part. I think we'll see a lot of people traditionally maybe a little bit of lift off of the counter, right, with a slap and coming back, but nothing high, right? We're staying pretty low. I feel like with the Neapolitan one in general. But give me your thoughts, Jake. Any techniques or thoughts on the Neapolitan doughs in general from you?
No, I think this is pretty spot on, right? You have to be gentle. You want the air. It's very easy to to work it out, especially if your proof isn't perfect. So I thought it was good. That said, you see some masters, they can do some things that the home chef might not be able to. So I like keeping it low, using gravity. If it's on the bench and you're gentle, I think it's good. So I think this article was very well put, because the difference between a good and a great Neapolitan can be just that hair of just how it's rolled out. And it's tricky. I mean, it's why I recommend, a Sicilian or something that's rolled a little more forgiving for a first timer, because Neapolitans are are tougher for this reason, in my opinion.
I'm with you. And so I will highlight here the tasting table. Good job on this one. They talked to one of the kings, obviously, from Una Pizza Napoletana. That's Anthony Mangiari. Great pizza maker, obviously featured in everything. And so they had him walk them through this article. So these are definitely useful tips to check out if you're looking to kind of solidify your Neapolitan pizza techniques. That's for sure.
Yep. That was a good one.
Right. So I'm interested if you're familiar with this guy, and so I'll quote the article here first just to see, and this would be more of a Food Network kind of thing, at least maybe where I think you might know him from. This one from the Dallas Observer: Thunderbird pies, Can Rosso, and Zoli's menus to be revamped by celebrity chef. So the Food Network's Christian Petroni is coming to Dallas as a PILF Restaurant Group's new chief culinary commandante.
Nailed it.
I was not expecting that as the title, to tell you the truth. I didn't read all the way through I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, comrade? What is that word? I didn't know if you're familiar with Christian Petroni at all. In general, I've definitely had some of his pies in New York. I think he's a really good Italian chef, and he's very personal, seems fun. You know what I mean? A good TV personality. But I'm interested if you're familiar with him at all, Jim.
Yeah, I am. Christian's an OG, right? And you follow his Instagram for any amount of time, and you see the truly heartwarming things that he makes that my grandmother made, right? I mean, he is cooking from the soul in family recipes. He's not using gimmicks. He's going for it. So I think Christian's great. I think it's great to kind of see his, Brooklyn and, Italian, deeply Italian style elsewhere. He's going to crush it. He's got a book coming out, I think, next year that I'm excited for, and I don't get excited for many books nowadays, but he's a good guy, great cook. And I think I know that, I've had some of his pies, some of his stuff. It reminds me of my childhood, which is probably the best compliment a chef can get, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll say too, to that fact, I'm pretty sure his media company is Gabagool Media, which I mean, it's like, dude, what better name can you have for a media company than Gabagool Media? It's amazing.
Yeah, his garlic bread's probably one of the best things I've ever had.
That's a lot, man.
If Christian, you're watching, you need to send me some just to make sure it's still good. Please slide in the DMs. But no, it is good. It is a good move for all involved.
I love it. All right, cool, man. So good, Dallas. Good for you, Dallas. You've got some good pizzas coming to you soon, I'd say. All right. I haven't talked about a challenge lately, and so why not? And Jim, tell me if you're up for this challenge. This one doesn't seem that crazy, but I'm not gonna lie, someone is not beating it. So this one from Patch.com: can you win the Benny Tadino's Pizza Challenge in Hoboken? You can win a giant pizza, a t-shirt, and lots of respect if you complete the challenge. So this one is, I don't know if it's that challenging. So out of Hoboken, the challenge is, the pizzeria in general, Benny Tadino's, has been there since 1968. They have a challenge where you have to eat a whole pizza in 30 minutes. So if you can eat the house pie by yourself in 30 minutes, including the crust, you'd get a t-shirt and your photo on the wall, and they pay for the pie. No one has been able to do this. And they're actually also extending you up to 45 minutes now on Mondays and Tuesdays. This pizza doesn't seem that giant, Jim. Am I missing something about this?
I mean, there was a time in my life where I probably accidentally did this. So you're right. I don't know if the house pie is like a 20-inch mammoth. No way. But it doesn't look that daunting. It doesn't look that cheesy. It doesn't look that, if I can eat half of a Chicago stuffed by myself, I think I could do it. Again, it's easy for me to say on this side of it. I get it. But I'm with you. I think someone needs to step up to the plate and crush this thing.
I think distinctively somebody that we know in New Jersey-ish area or New York area. Come on, get over there, please. Let's do it. I'm interested to see this, guys. All right. So let's go. I think one more. We'll close out here. So this one again, another tasting table item. Tell you the truth, and this is the hack, quote unquote, coming from them. So I'm interested. I think a lot of us have probably used a baking sheet before we've gotten a stone or something like that. So this is the baking sheet hack for a makeshift pizza oven at home. So before I even get into it, Jim, have you ever done this with a kind of idea of using, let's say, maybe a pizza, a pan upside down as a stone equivalent in your oven?
Yeah, I'll use a cast iron skillet upside down to do some R's and pies. That's kind of a cool like hack, right? If you don't want to crank up the stone. But this, not to steal from the article, but it's the basically stacking baking sheets, store the energy, get in. I've done this. I have thoughts. I'll let you kind of finish the article before I completely give my thoughts. But
no, I mean, that's it. Honestly, they said, kind of the article quotes here goes, hey, however, if your recipe calls for a baking or pizza stone, do you really need one? The answer is no. You can use an inverted baking sheet instead of a portable cooking surface. So I'm not going to lie, I actually haven't done this one, but I've always had honest to God, like a pizza stone for the most part since I ever made a pizza that I thought was relative. So I don't know. I mean, you tell me, man.
Yeah, I mean, the engineer in me, the problem is, right, if it's aluminum, it's not going to store or give off the heat that you want. Sure. And it's actually going to slow you down.
I didn't think about it like that. Why so?
Well, because, if you've got, let's say something that doesn't call for a baking sheet and doesn't have the oil, aluminum is, it's going to be, especially if it's reflective, right? It's not going to hold on that heat, and you're going to get a more pale crust where had you just had either something darker or something that's stainless or cast iron or even a stone, it's going to hold on that heat. Aluminum is a terrible conductor. And that's why, a lot of the pan pies, if it calls for aluminum, has oil, right? It's kind of your intermediary. Yep. But if you're upside down, you can't really oil that bad boy up, right? Or else
fair point.
So it's a slippery slope you'll get into. To me, I would invert, put two together and invert, have the lip and oil it if you really wanted that boost. But honestly, pizza stones, pizza steels, or use your cast iron skillet. I would do that over these, I think, 10 out of 10 times. What about you?
All right. Yeah. Okay, man. I did not know this. I never thought about the light aluminum, just kind of essentially not retaining that heat, thus you're not actually getting a better cook under the pizza, right, for the undercarriage in any sort of way. So, okay.
I did a test. Man. I used a new cookie sheet and then like a 20-year veteran one that was black. And the black, nice, crisp, but the light reflective, right, literally reflects heat, and it just doesn't, the crust was pale. So it makes a big difference. And, it's hard to call out in recipes, but you have to say, listen, use your oldest, dirtiest, blackest, burnt cookie sheet, because that's probably going to get you to kind of make up for that aluminum that isn't ideal.
Food tips with Jim. I like this one, buddy. This was good, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. Flip your cast iron skillet upside down. The best thing you can do if you don't have stone.
All right, guys, you heard it here first, but you got to heat it up for a while first, right? On top of that.
Oh yeah, half an hour at least.
Oh, wow, good amount of time. It's not as quick as you think, so leave it in there for a minute.
You got time.
Probably have enough time as if you bought that pizza dough from somewhere to actually take it out of the fridge and let it sit there for a while before you just try to open that bag and dump it out and use it right away as well. So while you're doing that and letting that dough sit out that you bought for a starter, heat up that cast iron skillet, and then it'll be a perfect timing when both of those are ready to use.
Perfect. Absolutely. Grab your fruit punch spritzer, which is a perfect pairing. Get your balsamic drizzle ready to go. Get that reducing, and I think we fit all the articles.
I love it. Awesome, man. All right, well, listen, Jim, as always, man, thank you for coming out tonight. Where can everyone find you across social media, buddy?
You type in Jim Cooks Food Good wherever you consume your content, you'll run into me one way or another.
Awesome. I love it, guys. And please, for everyone, please like and subscribe. Follow us, I Need Pizza Club on YouTube. We've got a number of different shows that are out there. We're building our content, so we'd love for you to support us. And by doing so, like or subscribe. Love it. Comment on our videos, anything you want. Happy to engage, guys. And on that note, we'll see you next week for another episode. Thanks all. Good night.